If you are a board gamer, then you have probably heard the term Meeple before. In some board games, you use little wooden cubes to mark resources or player pieces or such. But in some games, you get an actual Meeple. They're little wooden pieces that are meant to represent people, usually like workers and such in your worker placement games. They come in a variety of different colors and sizes, and as games evolved, new Meeples evolved, like this fun little pig Meeple or this slightly larger dragon Meeple. They're always fun. Being gamers, though, we like to bling out our games. We like to make them a little extra special, and this led to the rise of, you guessed it, custom Meeples, like this fun dragon or this explorer. These things can be a lot of fun, and they can make your game a little bit more exciting and interesting. But I'm a creative sort, and I might have another use for these board games, role-playing games, assembling and painting models and miniatures. These are my hobbies. I'm Howard Blues, one half of the popular podcast Beer, Blues, and BS. And now join me as I rebuild my cave of wonder. Hi, everybody. Howard Blues here, and welcome back to Howard's Cave of Wonder. Last year, so 2020, my wife and I, Lefty, had a bit of a dilemma that we had to solve. You see, Junior was getting to the point where he's getting to be more mobile. It's getting to be Christmas time. We didn't know if we could quite trust him yet with a Christmas tree with, breakable family heirlooms. And what we decided to do is we knew at that point that we were going to be looking at moving. And so we decided, why not get a small Christmas tree that could sit on our TV stand, and that way we'd have a tree up, but it wouldn't be, it wouldn't take up all the space. He couldn't get to it. And you see that lovely tree sitting there, actually on top of Junior's Christmas gift from us. We'll wrap it, I promise. But one of the things that my wife and I talked about was, what do we do with this little tree after we move? And at that time, the talk was always, of course, about Shedtopia, that mythical building I was going to have for my podcast studio, my gaming, and all of that. I don't have Shedtopia. I have this wonderful cave that I'm working on building, trying to construct and get in place. But it was decided then that this little tree would get to live in the cave. And I came up with this interesting idea, and that was to get little custom Meeples and to make them into, Christmas ornaments to hang on this tree so that I could have a gamer-themed tree. And so I'm going to show you how I did it. Feel free to take this and improve upon the design, of course. But let me show you how I made some really cool game-inspired Meeple ornaments. All right, so let's make some ornaments. So I have here a couple of these customized Meeples, and really all I need for that to do this project are some Meeples, some ornament hangers. I have a snips. Just a snips. A pin vise drill. And then I have some super glue here as well. So it's a small collection. What I have already done is I've already looked at my pin vise and found a drill bit that is just barely bigger than one of the ornament hangers. So, and I picked these up last year when I did this project. I was able to pick up this big 200 pack. So, able to make that work. These custom meeples I got from a company called Meeple Source. They do a lot of custom meeples for games, and you can go in and you can buy the individual meeples. So if there are specific characters that you want, like if you want this dragon meeple, you can do that. Or they do have deals where you can get a certain amount of random meeples. So I have done that in the past. I actually had made a purchase here as part of Black Friday. I bought these wonderful screaming llama miniatures, or meeples, I should say, for somewhat nefarious purposes. I'll maybe talk about that at some point. But as part of that, you could actually get 3 random meeples. So for free, and I did that. So I got these. I also ordered a set. They had a set of My Neighbor Totoro meeples, and so I picked that up because I think those will be fun to be ornaments. And actually, I do enjoy the Studio Ghibli films. I haven't actually seen My Neighbor Totoro. It's on my list, but I see that we have Cat Bus. We have the different versions of Totoro and such. So one of those movies that's on my list of things to see. So I'm going to make these into ornaments as well. So here's all I do, and it's not a hard process whatsoever. If you've never used a pin vise, really, it's just kind of like a hand drill. You hold down on this end, just kind of push down, and then you're able to turn the body of it and get a drill motion. So let's start with the most basic one. So this figure here, which seems to be some sort of farmer holding some corn and a scythe. I'm not sure which game it's from. I try and find myself kind of roughly the middle, and I just work on drilling in. Now you don't want to apply too much pressure to it. For the sheer reason of these bits that you use with a pin vise tend to be fairly small, and so I don't really want to jam or break them off. And then I can take one of the hangers. Now what I tend to do is I tend to bend one side of it kind of straight, and then I'll have my other side be my hanger, and I tend to find that works. I might sometimes shape it out a little bit more, or what I tend to do differently with these, there's kind of this one fun curved side and there's this bigger round side. On my past ones, what I did was I actually took and flattened out the weird curvy side so that I had a bigger hook for grabbing on, like this. So and I'm okay with the length. If I do feel like the length is too much, that's what the snips is for. So I can actually just come in and snip off a chunk. But I kind of actually like this because by the time you hang the branch, it allows them to hang down a bit further. So as I said, I don't need it too far. So this goes in just a little bit. And we just put a dab of super glue. And then just slide that in. And I move it to the back here to let it stand and such. So there's that one. Let's just do another. On some where they are kind of bumpy and such, I maybe try and look. This dragon kind of has this weird crease right in the middle of its head. So you know what? Perfect spot for me to just drill right into. Just pull it back out. So on this one, flatten. Wire, create my little hook on that end, kind of fixing my air with it. Take a look. Yeah, so about like that. And we glue. Now we just stick that in and we'll let it sit. So as you can see with those in the background, I think you can make them out. You can kind of see that the dragon hook is a little bit lower in. I was able to dig a little bit deeper. Now sometimes with these, especially if you're using custom ones, there's not necessarily kind of an easy spot to get. I mean, that when I have one of those, I just try to find what I think is the best middle ground to put it. One thing you can do if it is slick, you could use another thing, simply like a Reaper Pokey tool, to make just an impression in it to kind of start. Or if you're like me and you don't want to necessarily damage your said Pokey tool, if I have like an old blade like I have on this X-Acto knife, I might use that to just make a groove, just like I did on this one, so that my drill bit has a place to kind of get in there safely, such. And then we just drill. And then what I usually do is I just let these dry overnight. Tends to be my thing. Actually, gonna snip off just to show. So I'm just gonna take snip. And I always tend to, when I snip small pieces or wire like that, one piece of advice that I always kind of give is, if you might have noticed, I aimed it down off of my mat because this is a little bit bouncy, but hopefully also because I have a nice roll top and I have a back, I like to shoot them that way so that they can hopefully get caught by that and not shoot all the way out. But that's the process. I'm going to start on these My Neighbor Totoro ones, and you know what? We'll do a nice little time lapse as I try to finish these up. All right, and there you have it. As I said, very simple process. And yeah, I mean, I got a couple of new ornaments to put up on the tree. It's a very simple thing. As I said at the table, I got all of these from Meeple Source, especially right around Thanksgiving with some of their Black Friday sales. There's some good deals, and you can pick up the ones specifically that you want, or you can do what I did, which was I think it was an order of 25 random Meeples, which means I have some weird ones. Like I do have a zombie Meeple that's up on my tree, just kind of weird for Christmas, but it's okay. Zombies and board games go together. It's kind of like peanut butter and chocolate. Although it's now kind of overdone. It's kind of like how Reese's has gone too far, and there's now like 10,000 varieties of Reese's. I'm on a weird tangent. This is what happens when I record late at night. But anyway, I hope that you like this. I hope for some of you, this maybe inspired you to go out and make your own Meeple ornaments and hang them up on trees. And yeah. Looking forward to a few shenanigans with it myself. So anyway, this is good, just a little short video. I hope you had fun with it. I had fun making it, and we'll see you again sometime down here in the cave. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. And we'll see you down here again sometime soon.